Hi, welcome to Universal Interiors. I'm Leslie Engelstead, and I am very happy to be able to share a little from beautiful Detroit Lakes Park. Behind me, there's always so much going around, and just looking at the beauty of creation. It's really marvelous to just be able to walk out our door living in the lake area that we do and just start counting your blessings. But a lot of times it's hard to do because a lot of people don't have something to smile about right now. They might be feeling physically on the sad side, maybe something just been stirring mentally, or you just feel like, what's the use? Nothing seems to be going my way. Life gets so tough at times, and even if you're in the beautiful warm of summer or the cold chill of winter, you still have to keep plugging away. And if you don't have ways to encourage yourself, you can get pretty down. And I know I catch myself doing it over and over again. I think just walking this earth, you're going to have plenty to feel sad about, but there's so much to be glad about. And I know that I often talk about this, and people may call me the Pollyanna of this little Lakes TV3, but perhaps I'm going to be called that. I'm okay with that, because really, we really have to challenge ourselves what we think about. The other day I was listening to somebody and I couldn't help it. I'm like, oh, I've got to share this little message. So bear with me. I'm going to be reading something today, and hopefully you catch the most of it. This article is called How to Live Miserable. So just in case you want to feel like living miserable, here's some key components. Okay, think about yourself constantly. Use I as often as possible. Mirror yourself continually by the opinion that other people have of you. Listen greedily to what people are saying about you, and if it's not what you want to hear, go ahead, get angry at them. Expect to be appreciated by everyone. I might be the only one out there feeling that way, but boy, I feel like somebody should appreciate me a little more at times. By the way, I'm pretty much guilty of all of this, and just in the last week. Next on the list, live suspicious. Be jealous. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Envy. Be envious of those around us. How about be sensitive and easily offended? I could stop right there, and I think you all could just challenged for that kind, the offense that's just everywhere. But here's the problem. We choose to listen to those that have offended us, or we've offended them and they can't get over it. Now we're living miserable. Okay, this is only half the list, but this spirit of offense, or however you want to word it, we really got to challenge yourself. Life is too short to live miserable. But in case you do, here's some more on the list. Now, trust nobody but yourself. Insist on consideration and respect at all times. Demand agreement with your own views on everything. Ouch. Sulk. Start feeling sorry for yourself if people aren't grateful for what you do for them. I'm pretty sure Raina and I never have that problem for all the conversations we've shared about. Just saying. Never forget what you do for people, and think about all that all the time. Always remember what people have failed to do for you. How about shirking your duties? Seek at all times to entertain yourself. Make sure that's out in the front, that you're being entertained and you're taking care of you. You'll find yourself miserable after no time because everybody else is doing the same thing. Now, do as little as possible for other people. Okay, if you live this way, you'll be living miserable. Even a few of those chunks that I just shared with you, if you can stop and ponder even a couple of them and challenge yourself to turn around and turn those the opposite way. Catch yourself talking about I all the time and look instead to focus about others. Again, this is how to live miserable. But you see, if you care to choose this, we had a great example in looking to Jesus, because Jesus came so that we could live with him and for him and not be about ourselves. You see, he's set us free from being all about me. Think it's more for yourself and others and do for them, so they finally, if you'd start doing that, less for you, more for them, you just might get to a contentment, might get to a happy place. It's crazy because you wouldn't think that way, but life is kind of about opposites. Taking care of ourselves and thinking about me and what they didn't do and what they haven't done, it's the opposite. And that's the crazy cool part. If you take a time to really look at what Jesus' word is, he's going to challenge you on each and every one of those. You see, he came just to serve, to simply do good. That's what he did. Walked around and did good. And you didn't hear him talking about himself, like, ever. So, again, a challenge to get yourself off your mind and to start living free. Start the unselfish way of life. Boy, easier said than done. I'm not telling you that you're going to walk in the park and have a great time and doing this from here on in. But if you ask or look to Jesus, his way of love on this earth was like no other. He denied himself over and over again. And you know what? He just took time. He just stopped. He was always interrupted. How well do we do that? I would tell you, we don't do it very well. These interruptions that we have constantly bombard us every day can make ourselves pretty miserable. So get along all that normal everyday inconveniences, and then you start the list. Oh, they never seem to have that. Those guys never have to worry about money. Those guys, they know that they'll be taken care of. They know their kids are doing okay. They know that they're loved by their husband. They know that they have a home full of family. There's so many things we could put on that list, but none of them will ever help us to feel grateful and thankful, happy, joyful, any word you choose to fill in there. You see, you got to live unselfish so that Jesus can be seen in us. And no matter what your thoughts are there of that faith, it's for real. Because he told us that he's simply love. And who doesn't want love? I don't think I've ever met anybody that doesn't want love. And we can again hit this list pretty hard when we don't have somebody over our shoulders and telling us just how great we are and how much we're appreciated and how very loved we are. I'll tell you, in my 58 years, I still crave it. And yet at the same time, I know there's much love. But what's happened, we turn our eyes on me. You turn your eyes on yourself. And then you don't get to live that love out loud. Because love is exactly who Jesus said he was, and he is, and always will be. Why wouldn't we want that in our lives? I hope that you take some time today, whatever the weather is outside, and go for a little walk. And if you're unsure that you're the one that's making yourself miserable, guess what? Your Creator will be happy to help you. He's always listening, and he's always loving you. And he just really wants the best for you. So ask him, am I making myself miserable here? Because I'm pretty sure it's all those other things on my list. I do it all too often. And even reading that list right there, I was convicted so many of them that I was like, I just did that yesterday, like 8 of them. So I know that it's a very real to-do list. Actually, I guess it's a real not to-do list. I think we all have those to-do lists. Hey, make one of these lists. What not to do. Because most of you, I don't think, like living miserable. Even if it's for 10 minutes. And it could be 10 years by now. But we have to take out that root that's causing our discontent, that's causing us to feel miserable, that which causes us to just feel angst in the beginning of the day or at the end of the day. We need to leave this list for someone else. Do yourself a favor. Maybe write down a few of these, slash them, and say, now, what am I supposed to not do? And I bet you find yourself living a pretty grateful life and not too miserable after all. even if it's 90 degrees or 20 below. Life is what you make it. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. See you next time.